What up, y'all? We are
Oh, shit.
live.
We are
OG
live.
Logic number 13. Or did I number it wrong? You know, I'd be bad with this stuff. I be getting the times wrong. We don't do this every week.
Is it number 13?
I believe it is. I need to
I
check
don't know.
actually. If not, I have to change it later and I'm looking all crazy with the title changing.
You know, I when I was doing that Handle Your Business with Bobby Dino show, I had this guy that was my video guy, and like without fail, every week he'd number them fucked up, and so like he'd turn in a project like, oh, it's done, and then I'd have to get back at him and be like, yo, bro, the number's wrong on this, you know, and it didn't seem like it was that hard a thing to realize, but I mean, without fail, every week there was something wrong with the number. So I don't know, man. Some people.
Yeah. What's it called? Is there what's the dyslexia? Is that the numbers or is that wait no lexia is the letters. What's the comparative for numbers? Anybody know? Maybe he had the comparative of dyslexia for numbers and he just like saw numbers was like 13.
No, I don't know what it was, man, but it was always like one off, and I was just like, come on, man. Because like I'd be wanting to put the thing up, and then it's like, oh, now I gotta wait for you to fix it, and put it back up again. Just
was he 240 Blaze friendly?
You know, I want to say no, but who knows?
He could have been like, hey man, it's like
yeah,
it's just a number, baby. Just like age is just a number. You never know, man. Everybody nowadays, dude, it's crazy how many people, Allah Musta'an, how many people are high. You can't go nowhere and not run across a bunch of high people. It's the weirdest thing. When did this become a thing? I don't know. I remember back when I was a kid, there was the whole like, anti-drug campaign. So it was like nobody was literally on drugs, because it was like, don't do drugs, and you had the little don't do drug commercials and dogs and whatnot and, cartoon figures. So nobody was like really on drugs. Now it's like, I guess they canceled that. And now it's just.
It's funny. I didn't realize.
Since you don't tell them that you shouldn't do this, they just do it. What's going on?
I don't even know, but it's funny because since I stopped smoking weed, I realized how much people smoke weed. If that makes sense.
Yep.
How much of a problem it is, because I'll be out with my friends and the first thing they ask when we go somewhere is, can I roll it or can I bill it? And I'm like, no. I mean, we could be anywhere. Children's party, and the first thing they're thinking of is, can I roll it? And
can I roll it up?
There's been times where even that has been a problem because of they've slowed us down, and like the pursuit of getting weed becomes a major problem. Just chill out. You can go out. You can go a couple hours without it.
I didn't really like that about London. You walk around London and man, the amount of weed you smell is unbelievable. I hated it. It's like you couldn't walk like a good 20 meters straight without like coming across some like just get hit in the nose with that. Like you're like, what the?
Yeah.
That's California. That's California all day. It's just like that too, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. They did a new type of forensic science in London. They started with London. It was the first test city where they checked the sewer water, for traces of stuff. They found that after they finished their study, London had the highest concentration of cocaine in its sewer system than any other European city. Period, by far. So them dudes just coking the heck up in London, man. They just in there just. Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Drugs are a major problem in this city, and the last job I had, as well as the gang members, I was working with a lot of drug abusers, and it's a major problem. It's crazy.
Yeah. I didn't like London. I still don't like London, man. I mean, I know it's your city, bro, but I just don't like it there. I don't like coming there, man. It's just every time I'm there, I just feel kind of like it's like I can't take enough showers, man. I don't know. I feel kind of grimy. I don't know how y'all brothers do it, man. Mashallah. Okay, we got our first question. Abu Future Trunk says, I got a question. If any of you guys know, I go to the gym, but I still got some lower belly and back fat, which makes me look fat from the belly button to the waist. How can I lose that? Okay, so you're like me. You get your fat in your obliques. I get my fat in my obliques. That means it goes around the back area, the side, and the back. And that, you know what, Abu Future Trunks, you just sold yourself out. I know now that you are a black male because this is a black male problem. So, it's cardio, man. The only thing you do is cardio. Lifting weights ain't gonna make fat go away. Cardio makes fat go away. So you're gonna have to get on your cardio, bro. And you can't make it go away from a specific location in your body. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, you can't spot reduce. But to add to that, I will counter what you said. Cardio is probably the best way to lose fat. But the thing with cardio is that you only actually burn the calories while you're doing the movement. With weight training, it speeds up your metabolism. So if you do like a heavy weight workout, just sitting down how we are now for up to 24 hours, you're in a state of fat burning. So you can actually, the two combined are just as important as each other, because a lot of people concentrate on the cardiovascular side of things, and then they don't actually lose weight. And what happens is that they become fit in a sense where their lungs become better, their stamina improves, but they don't actually lose weight because they're working outside of the fat burning zone. So there's when you're doing cardiovascular activity, there's a cardiovascular zone and there's a fat burning zone. The harder you work, the less likely you're going to burn calories. Your body starts to concentrate on the heart and lungs. So that's why when you see bodybuilders trimming up, you actually see them doing cardio, but at a very calm pace, because they're working within a fat burning zone. So I would say my personal advice would be a combination of both cardiovascular activities and also weight training. When you're doing the cardio, work within the fat burning zone. So I forgot the actual beats per minute, how your heart's supposed to be pumping, but there is a cardiovascular zone. And I'll also alternate between high intensity training as well. So if you're doing all three, you will have a chance of losing fat. But like what Abu said, you can't spot reduce. So your body decides where it's going to lose weight. You can't actually decide, I want to lose this part. What happens is you can make it look better. So you can, for example, if you've got fat around your waist, if you train your shoulders and your lats, you can actually appear to have a V shape. So you could do cosmetic work to kind of improve your physical appearance by doing other exercises to basically balance out what you're lacking. But yeah, that's really it.
And change your diet, man. You're probably eating the wrong foods. You're probably eating bad stuff. You know, you got to reduce your calories. Make sure you have, if you're trying to lose weight, make sure you have a calorie deficit, but make sure it's a sustainable one. Yeah, add that in there.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm Sudani, half Somali. I knew it.
Oh, yeah, they
Black people get that fat in the same spot. We all struggle with that same fat zone, man.
But the problem with the Somali men and the Sudanese, and it seems like they're very doughy.
Yeah.
So they don't really have a lot of fast twitch muscle that we have, you know. So for some reason, the weight just, you know.
Okay, we have a question from man, y'all in these names, man. Fro Rasu with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much. You are the boss. You are the man. Salam Abu wa alaikum assalam. Which country do you feel is better for a revert Muslim from the US, Indonesia or Turkey? That's a good question. Both are relatively decent countries. you're gonna find about the same level of Islam. They're both like, kind of. I'm not trying to throw them under the bus, but they're both kind of fuddy-duddy. You will find. I'm a Salafi Muslim, so you're gonna find Salafi communities in each country. But you are going to be the minority if you call yourself Salafi. So, me, I personally had a good experience with Indonesians and Turks. I'm looking at moving to Turkey, but the reality is it probably won't happen. I'll probably look at Malaysia or Indonesia at the end because of the simple fact that Turkey, polygyny, having multiple wives, is not allowed. It is illegal, and it is not illegal in Indonesia nor Malaysia. So it depends on the lifestyle you're looking for. If you're looking for a more European lifestyle with more European style laws, then Turkey's probably going to be the place for you. If you're looking for something that's going to be loosely, founded upon Islam, but not in opposition to Islamic rules in specific to lifestyle, like polygyny, Indonesia, Malaysia would probably be the place to be. But Malaysia, I would say, you didn't mention Malaysia. I would only say Malaysia over, Indonesia. And that's what I'm looking at, simply because Malaysia is a far more modern country. They have more modernization in terms of infrastructure than Indonesia does. Inshallah, that answers your question. Anybody want to throw on top of that, or?
I don't have nothing for that.
Okay. Chimpanzee Games. I got a question for you guys. What do you think about intermittent fasting? You guys do it. I don't do it. Anybody else got something on that? So I can't give you an opinion. Okay.
I do pretty much on a daily basis. Like I don't like to eat first thing or second thing in the day. Like I usually don't eat until like it's evening.
Okay.
If I do, like it might be like a handful of almonds or something like that, like nothing big. And I just it keeps me more alert through the day. And then too, like I just don't think that humans were designed to have a whole bunch of meals a day. You know what I mean? Like when we were coming up and whatever, it's not like we were just sitting there eating all friggin' day long. Like we could have been starving for days. We were like hunter gatherers and stuff. So, I mean, that's just my personal view on it. I don't know whether I'm following any actual nutritional advice that's worth a damn or anything like that. Just what I think. That's it.
We got a strange comment. Nabil is a slimy dude. I get along with Nabil, and I know he watches this. He might see this or hear this, but he does take shots at people when shots are being fired. I don't think that's a cool thing. He does that regularly. I don't think that's cool of him. He's my homie, but sometimes your homies do some BS, and that's some BS he pulls. Okay, Punt Man. Here we go. Abu, what's your problem with the Somali community? I always see you arguing with them on Twitter. Is the problem with the women folk or the men? Hey, look, man, I ain't got no problem with the Somalis. They always coming for me. I don't interact with any particular community. People come looking for me. I don't go looking for them. And when they come at me, it's always the Somalis. Out of any demographic that attacks me the most, I don't attack them. I don't have comments about them. If you look at my Twitter in 2018, I made a comment about Somali brothers in London coming out and doing good by me, and that those are my dudes, and I always look out for them. But Somalis, they too racist to actually like take the love that somebody gives them, and so they seem to forget that I've spoken highly about them multiple times. And when the women folk was attacking them, and it comes across my timeline, I've always speaking highly of my Somali brothers. I ain't got no love for y'all no more, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, your people, they make fake accounts. They spend a lot of time doing this. I'm not saying all of them, but you guys actually got websites. You got websites and Twitter pages dedicated to these fake Somali accounts that go around like slandering people, making fake tweets, making fake conversations, making fake accounts, and just causing a bunch of trouble. And then here's the thing. Then you got your people who know this, and they still retweet that stuff, knowing it's from these accounts that make trouble. What kind of people do this? Yeah. So, I mean, I'm done with y'all, man. I don't want nothing to do with y'all no more. I mean, just in basic, if y'all come across the timeline, just based off of being Somali, I'm blocking you. If you come with any sort of sideways, straight up, man. I got love for my people individually on an individual basis. I got love for my brothers. I got some really, really tight, and I'm not just talking just like, a little bit. I mean, very tight brothers who are Somali. I live with them in London. I hang with them. I still talk to them to this day. They my boys. But really, if someone like Sadiq doesn't come along and say, this dude's cool, if my boys in London don't come along and say, this dude's cool, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to know you. I don't want to hear from you. Just stay away from me. Stay out my DMs. I'm probably just going to block you. Hey, salam alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. Block. Because y'all just defend. Look, man, I had a brother. Look at this. I had a Somali brother in my inbox. And he was saying, this sister came on my Twitter. Don't have a clue who she is. She comes on, she starts attacking me. She starts spreading lies. She starts, spreading fake tweets, telling lies. And of course, I went in on her. Now get this. This brother, he writes me and he says, if a Somali attacks you, you gotta take it. You can't respond. What? He was dead up.
What?
He was dead up. And really, when I talk to a lot of y'all, that's y'all's mentality. Why would I want to deal with you?
No.
So I ain't got nothing against y'all. Y'all seem to have something against me. And so I'm just going to do y'all a favor and start blocking y'all in mass. Boop. I'm done.
That's some dummy thinking right there.
That they super tribal people. And so like, if their people are stuck on stupid and doing stupid stuff, they don't care. They'll just come and defend them just because he's one of them. And
you just got to take that shit.
I'm done, man. Don't ask me about your people. Your people come from me. I don't know who they are. I don't know who all these people are. Here's the thing, man. I don't even see tweets from people who don't follow me. I set my Twitter up like that. And still, now y'all figured that out. So now y'all start following me so that I see your tweets. And then you take the time to sit there and like hate follow me. And then, send me these tweets. Who got time for that stuff?
I got it set up to where I don't see the tweets unless it's somebody I follow. And because I follow little
that's
people,
even better.
Yeah, so because I follow so little people, like my alerts are just that much less. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like everybody else is Like
so
Eminem says, fuck all y'all.
So Punt Man, the question isn't what do I have against the Somali people and community, is what do they have against me? Yeah. Why did they come looking for me? Tell me a Somali I went looking for. Name one who I went out and I was like, let me go get this dude. But y'all like retweeting me and then tagging me in all sorts of tweets and all sorts of things and adding me to groups. I don't. When was the last Somali I made a group and then I was like, hey, what's up with you and the Somalis? Like, in some group on Twitter.
What was the start? What's been the catalyst for this battle?
My wife tying my shoes.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just done with them, man. I don't want anything to do with them. They can have Mogadishu, they can have all that stuff. They seem to love chaos, man. So I'm done with them. No more love from me. Not unless I know you. Right here. Can you please tell why do you left Qatar? I'm asking because I'm planning to leave Germany and go to Qatar. It's just, man, I was there a long time, man. 7 years. And there's a lot of questions for me all of a sudden. I was there 7 years, man. 6.5 years. I'm just, I ain't Qatari, man. And they ain't going to let me be Qatari and they ain't going to give permanent residence. So I just left. And plus, man, it's this place of fitna in general. And when I say fitna, I mean, it's like, listen, Amr, if you're going to Qatar, do this. Take 1 bag of money and take 2 bags of patience. Nope, I mean, that's a tough place to live, man. In terms, you got to have a lot of sabr out there, or you just got to keep your head super low and avoid people. But that place will test your patience, man. So just make sure you got a lot of sabr when you go out there and get your money and get out. Don't do like a lot of people do in Qatar. Don't go there and you see everybody driving the Lambos. You see everybody driving the Bugattis. When I was there, the average income on a monthly basis for Qatari families was $72,000 a month. And so it's like, you want to talk about supercars? It's the country of supercars. It's the country of super bling. And what happens is a lot of foreigners go there and they get kind of wrapped up in it and they start buying bling cars and looking all nice and whatever else. And they burn a bunch of the cash that they make there. And so don't fall into that trap. Go there, stack your cash, get out, man. And don't act like you're gonna make hijra. You can't make hijra there because hijra has conditions, and one of the conditions is that you can't be removed from the country. And they can easily remove you from the country, and they're not gonna make it easy for you to stay there. So don't even go there with the mentality of hijra, because now here's the thing: if you make the niyah for hijra and you don't make hijra, and you leave, you become sinful, because hijra is an act of worship, and it's like you can't make it's like trying to make niyah for salah, for the prayer, and you don't have wudu. You don't meet the conditions, so don't go there being goofy like other people and acting like you're gonna be a permanent resident. You're not. They're not gonna make an exception for you. So yeah. Hey Bobby, thoughts about the seeming push towards female priests in the Roman Catholic religion?
This is just like some secularism stuff that's going on. I mean, I talk about this with men and women too. You know, the fact that you'll have something that worked for, you know, thousands of years, and then in the age of internet, all of a sudden somebody's got it right, and the way that they did it for a millennia before was wrong. I think that just like I mean, very similar to like with the imams and you know it's like it's a male role. You know what I mean? Like it's not for female. Females have their role in the church, and that ain't it. You know, I mean, just like a man's role isn't making babies. You know, no matter how much he might want to, or no matter how much he might want to, you know, be something that, like, that's just not his role. So I don't agree with any of this new age stuff with Catholicism, and there's a lot of it, especially in America. They call it cafeteria Catholics, where you could just pick and choose which part of the religion you like versus which part you don't, and that's what you're going to believe in, you know. So yeah, it's a bunch of garbage, in my opinion.
Okay. You know, I passed something. I passed the question. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I passed the question. Assalamu alaikum. Oh, it's Amir again. I wonder what you guys think of BJJ and kickboxing. Which do you think is best for beginners? It depends on what you want to do. You want to learn how to strike? You want to learn how to punch people in the face? Kickboxing. If you want to learn how to like do submission grappling, then jiu-jitsu. In terms of fighting sport, I would say learn striking and grappling together. I mean, what's to prevent you from it? You know, you got 6-7 days a week, man. Just do 2 days of this, 2 days of that. You know, you can balance it out, you know, 3 days and 3 days. I just said like 2 days and 2 days, so you got more time for recovery. But in general, man, there's no method to the madness. Both of them require you to fight and spar, which is the most important thing to me. It will humble your ego, either one. You're going to get choked out by some like 16-year-old kid that's built like, you know, a 14-year-old girl, you know, and in kickboxing, you know, you're going to come in the door, and if you don't have any sort of training, you're just basically going to be a punching bag, you know, if you go directly into sparring, which I don't advise, you know, but so, man, just pick one, dude. Just make sure you do a fighting sport that requires you to spar. Anybody else want to jump in on that?
Yeah, I think, like you said, that they're both good. I took I took both those, but I didn't really stay in the kickboxing too long. You know, I stayed in the jiu-jitsu longer. I think that if you don't know any type of fighting, you should learn the type of fighting to where you stay on your feet. So that would, I mean, if you had to choose one, I would choose some kickboxing, because in real world applications or multiples, you just don't really want to go to the ground. You know, that's where like the homeboys' friends are going to stomp you out. You know, like once they see you throw their friend up into a chokehold or whatever and fall down on the ground with the rear naked, you know, that like they're going to come over and they're going to stomp your head in. So I would recommend staying on your feet, you know, but like Craig said, I mean, there's nothing stopping you from learning both. You know, I would just say that if you had to learn one or the other, that it's probably, I would probably stick with kickboxing and then go to the next, but learn them at the same time. Do that too.
Abuamerican and Sadiq, which should I read up on first? Quran and the Tafsirs, or the Hadith, Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim? Bro, you got to do both. You know, you got to read the speech of Allah. You need this for worship, and then you need to know how to worship, and you learn that from the Hadith. You can't. There's no way you can like start one without the other. You know what I mean? Because if you read the Quran only, and you become like one of those Quranis, you'll start thinking you only got to pray 3 times a day, because in the Quran it's like only mentioned 3 tops 4 times in a day. So you need to read both. So you need to read the Quran, you need to read the Hadith, because the Quran, is the book of Allah and it's the speech of Allah, and you need it in order to complete your acts of ibadah, your acts of worship, and the Hadith teaches you how to do it properly. So that's my answer.
Alvin Foing, I don't know if I'm saying that name right. He's commented on a bunch of my Instagram, like when I have the questions. Just letting you know, I recognize the name. I did right now. Like when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, that's this dude right there. Okay, very good. Anyways, sorry, man. Don't need to jump in.
Yeah, similar to what Abu said, I don't like to tell people what order to do things when it comes to. It depends what you're reading for as well. We all have different paths to how we do things, but I would go with reading both at the same time, because with knowledge with the hadiths, especially reading the seerah, for me, the seerah was the key to everything, because just to understand the time frame of how the Quran took 23 years and the context behind some situations and verses, and the for me that made it made the Quran more clearer. So reading the Quran alone, there will be you won't always get the right context in some of the verses. So yeah, read as much additional information as possible, which is the hadiths and the seerah. I would say pick up the seerah as well. You can get a good one. Martin Ling's had a good one, and there's another one, the Sealed Nectar. Just to get if you don't know already, I'm just assuming you haven't, but if you have, read them all.
Yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about right here, man. Kane, free think. Stop generalizing, bro. We on the monolith. Where was that energy on Twitter, bro? You go ahead and tag me where you had that energy. Go ahead and tag me on Twitter when people was coming out with like lies, fake tweets, and messages. Show me where you had that energy. And I'll say, you know what, Kane, you're right. But when your people are in the line of fire, this is what you do. But when somebody else is in the line of fire, your people, y'all niggas is silent. Quiet as a church mouse pissing on cotton. Sorry, bro. No respect, man.
Yeah. That's some silence.
Any tips for women vetting the guys they propose for them? I've been leading all these questions. I'm just gonna say this: get a man folk to do it. Men know men.
Exactly. Good. That's the first thing I was thinking.
Yeah.
Get a guy involved.
That's it. It should be someone who like is vested in your well-being. That means don't pick your guy friend. Your guy friend isn't really your guy friend, and a perfect guy can come along and he's gonna be like, he's a horrible guy because he's actually he's waiting in the wings. He's waiting in the cut to make his move on you. Your guy friends aren't your guy friends. He's not appropriate.
And homies will wait in the cut for years.
Years. I told you about that guy. 47 years he waited.
Yeah, decades. You'll have homies waiting up in the cut, just because they know, like, or they don't even know. That just in their mind, they're like, all right, he's going to screw up. And when he does, I'll be there. I'll be there to be the one, and they'll just wait. Like, you think men don't have patience? Oh my God. Not when it comes to that. They got all the patience in the world.
In the world.
Yeah.
In the world, yeah. I agree.
I agree. Like someone that's in your best interest. And I will say this, ladies, like, trust your gut, So like, if you think something's off about the dude, there probably is.
Probably right. Yeah, probably is.
Yeah, I mean, women more than anyone, they've evolved to have a real solid sense of situational awareness. They have to. Like the weaker species, back in the caveman days, and hit them over the head and drag them back to the cave. Like they had to kind of their wits about them. So if you got something like just telling you like, oh man, something's off about this dude, or something that just ain't right, or I'm not comfortable with this, I would pay attention to those feelings and don't try and explain them away just because he's got a nice car or has a nice job.
Yeah, game is real, so you can't trust other women. You can't sometimes trust yourself because game is real and it works. Sorry, Sadiq.
In the absence of a strong man that's got your best interest at heart, I would say remove your emotions out of the picture. Look at the situation at hand, and like what Bobby said, your gut. Don't game. I, how can I explain it? Like, what is your intention? Is it marriage? Is it boyfriend and girlfriend? What does he want, and what is he proposing at the earliest opportunity? And is he trying to cut corners? Because a lot of guys, their primary intention is to devalue you, and they don't even realize that they're trying to do that. But a lot of guys will try to cut corners. In a Muslim community, you get these guys that will be saying, "Oh, your dad doesn't pray. Your dad's not a Muslim. So do you know what? We don't need your dad's involvement in this situation. I've got a friend. My friend can be your chaperone, or he could be your wali." Is he trying to cut corners in his pursuit of you? Is he trying to play games? Or is he trying to honor you?
Yeah.
Just be mindful of these things. Cutting corners.
Yeah, that's true. A guy who's serious will meet your family. That is true. A guy that's serious, he's going to want to meet your family.
Yeah,
he's got nothing to hide.
Yeah, he ain't scared.
Hey, and likewise, fellas, if a girl's serious, she's going to want to meet your family too.
Yeah, that's
right.
true.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
So, Ryan Q says, how can you get a good job or I suppose you mean in any of the countries you guys recommend, Romania, Middle East, assuming you're from the West? Education and skills, man. Have both. Generally, man, Ryan, you should be trying to make your own job. This is something I came to realize too late. Try and make your own job. I mean, recently online, I've been making more money than I make in my day job, almost triple. So make your own job, dude. But if in lieu of that, if you don't think you have the skills for it, make sure you have a skill. It doesn't have to be a university degree, and be very good at it. And you can find contracts, you can find work out there doing that. But education and skills. Anybody you?
I can't speak for all of the Middle East because I haven't been there, but in Romania, so you don't want to be a Westerner coming to Romania and getting a job as a Romanian. That may sound kind of messed up to say, but you're going to probably make more money with your Western job or with your own job than you will if you just moved to Romania and said, hey, I'm just going to get an average Romanian job that all the other Romanians are getting. So I wouldn't, and like I said, I don't know if it's like that in the Middle East or not too, but I guess what I'm saying is if you have something that pays you those Western dollars, okay, whether it's from America or from the UK or whatever, that's the kind of money that you want to make. And then if you go to live in another spot, right, like Eastern Europe or Middle East or whatever, you want to be able to take that type of money to there, because then you're going to have a good life. Then you could just go do whatever you want to do. You're not going to trip on money. It'll be cool. But if you just go to one of these countries and say, hey, I'm just going to live like the average population does, well, you're not going to live as well. You just won't.
Okay. Little Oren, how you guys manage anxiety, stress, and anger, etc.?
Alcohol. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke.
It doesn't work for me.
I promise that was a joke.
And he says, aside from exercising, Little Oren, man, I mean, me personally, I don't take much seriously, including Twitter. So everything is kind of humorous to me. So I don't really get stressed out. In my humble opinion, that comes with experience and age. I mean, you just eventually you realize 90% of what you get stressed about really isn't that stressful, or it wasn't really worth stressing out over, just because all the outcomes are usually by far and large far from deadly, either financially or physically. So over time, you're kind of like, this is like stupid, but it's it's going to work out. And the more experience you get in life, the more you have a toolbox of solutions ready for goofy that pops up in your life. So that's my answer.
Yeah, I think apart from physical, going gym, like I think most of my coping mechanism is knowing that I've been through a lot, and I've been through a lot of things in life from a young age. So I think my main strategy is just knowing that I just look at situations in the past that I've overcome, and I think, oh, I've overcome that. So this, what's in front of me, is not as serious. Now, when it does get serious, then that's for me I start praying. I find that God becomes my therapist. That's the time when I get closer to God. I scale back on maybe I'm talking about intense stress or anxiety, not just day-to-day ones, but when there's a sort of crisis approaching, this is when I scale back from people, social media interactions, and then I try to get closer to God. I find solace, and I find that a few days of doing that makes me feel better. I mean, with anger, understanding consequences. I've spent a considerable amount of time in prison because of my anger. I've lost a lot of things in my life because of anger. So I'm always aware of the consequences of my anger, because my anger is like it's like a forest fire. Once it starts, it becomes almost unstoppable. So for me, I just try my best to minimize it. I try not to take things as serious. A lot of people, I'm not as serious as I might even come across. A lot of times I can laugh things off, or just take things with a pinch of salt. And I think I will use my anger for times that is necessary. Like threats against my life or family. And there's levels of anger as well. Some anger is just like my kids messing around, and I shout at them. I'm not really angry. It's just performative. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't to give advice to others. It's difficult because not everyone has got the same experience I have to be able to channel the past to help them. So, for me, spirituality, going, even as much as you said, without gym or physical exertions, I think it's very important. We can't disregard it. We can't disregard it. Going gym helped me a lot with everything, and balancing that with prayer. Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Bobby, this one's for you. How common is the wife discipline practices these days in Christianity? I came across material about voluntary wife spanking. I said ask us anything. He went off the reservation though, man.
I mean, if we're talking about disciplining like corporal punishment or something like that, typically if you're going to go by the Catechism of the Catholic Church, which is essentially the rule book of Catholics, they frown on it. They don't agree that you should corporally discipline your spouse. I mean, that's just what's in the rule books. I mean, I can give you, opinions or examples of other things, but if you're typically just looking at Catholicism and what do they say about corporally disciplining, your wife, generally they're against it. They don't sanction it.
One for me. Nahid Ahmed. Y'all niggas, man. Question for you, Abuamerican. What's your process when you decide to divorce a woman? I guarantee you it's one of them people, man. I should just block this fool right off the rip. Hey, look, Nahid, there's two cases where I go where I start considering and I starting the process to divorce. First off, it involves major sins in Islam. If the person, the woman, is committing major sins, either through action or inaction in terms of major sin would be something like not praying, which is a very common thing amongst women. Not very common thing, let me not say that, but you know, amongst the women that I've had to divorce, starting, stopping, you know, major sins. And then after that, when they interfere in like the day-to-day functioning of life to where it becomes like a financial liability upon you as a man and to your family, because I'm accountable and responsible for more than just that one woman. And so when she starts doing goofy stuff that starts costing you money and starts costing you livelihood, she now threatens not only, you know, the financial stability of her household, but the financial stability of multiple households. And that can't be tolerated. So no more goofy questions, huh? Soleil, man. Soleil, man. Soleil, listen, bro. Red pill community loves Trump. Is he alpha? Can he be true alpha and red pill even though his wife constantly snubs him in public? Why does it matter? I have to ask you honestly, why do you even care? I mean, even though I'm the only one on here who really has any sort of, you know, manosphere / red pill crossover, it really doesn't matter, because no matter what Trump is or isn't, how does that affect your life? Okay, let's say Trump is alpha. Now tomorrow, what changes for you and your woman? Say he's not alpha. What changes for you today and your woman? It's a completely like no-brainer situation and conversation. Really, it's not worthy of like contemplating. Fix yourself, fix your finances, make sure you're good. What Trump does, what Trump doesn't do, as long as he doesn't like lob like, you know, a missile or something in your neighborhood, I don't think you really need to worry about him and what he's doing. You know, it's not going to change your life.
You know what? These type of questions trip me out a little bit, because here's the thing, man. Is like a lot of these red pill, like it's so binary, okay? And what they don't understand is that like these women, they're actually people. So like they have brains up there, and like they can form their own thoughts and make their own opinions, and you know, do so they say things like this or something similar. Oh, well, his wife constantly snubs him or whatever like that, you know. Hey, that that ain't necessarily Trump's fault. Could just be that his wife's a bitch. You know what I mean? Like it ain't that, you know, some dude is left out less alpha because he chose, or he's with someone that isn't, you know, all perfect and nice all the time, or isn't, you know, like the best personality person or whatever. You know, people are different and people act differently. So, you know, whether maybe she's got a public display of affection thing that she just doesn't like, you know what I mean? And she doesn't like to be doing that shit in front of the cameras or whatever like that. That's just, I mean, she's an actual person, you know. It's not like, oh, okay, I'm so alpha that my bitches turn into robots and they just do whatever I program in there. It don't work like that, man. And that's where a lot of you young men, you young bloods, are going to run into problems. Is you're going to be reading some of this shit and you're going to like see that it says, oh well, if she don't do that, then that means I'm playing my game wrong. No, man, life ain't binary like that. Life ain't like yes or no. Most of life isn't. I know you want to think that most of it is, but most of it is not. It's lots of shades of gray. So, you know, that's one of the things that experience and age teaches you down the line is to recognize those. But I mean, I agree with what Abu says is, you know, in the end, who gives a shit? I mean, it don't affect us at all. So who cares?
It's an interesting point you just made though, Bob. Because I think a lot of people do feel like being alpha, the world will react to you in a way that is almost fixed. Like, so everything is like a fixed response. So if you behave like this, all women will behave like this, and if they don't behave like this, then they're all degenerates and they're all. You know, I think it can confuse a lot of guys to and even make them question themselves. You know what they're doing right or wrong, based on these automatic responses that they're expecting. And sometimes, you know, you might get a general response, but you can't always. You have to factor in different things, like what you said. So that's actually a good way of putting it, because that's something I didn't even think of myself. You know what I mean? But It's true.
Yeah, people are people.
Rishi, when did you get red pilled? After I left Qatar. Have you looked into the black pill space? You know what, man, this pill, that pill. I stopped kind of like just generally with the whole pill thing. I gave up the whole red pill terminology like almost 2 years ago. No, I haven't looked in the black pill space. I've heard about them. I'm not interested in them. I'm not interested in nihilists of any sort, dude. I mean, that's my understanding, is that they're a bunch of nihilists. What is a nihilist going to teach me in anything? How to see the worst of any situation I want to look at? You know, I mean, I'm good, man. No, I don't know anything about them. Do you guys know anything about them?
No, this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Yeah.
Black.
No, I'm good.
What do you guys think about the future of masculinity, especially in, I think China's? Yeah, we've had a lot of shows on this. You know, I think we've covered this multiple times. Yeah, we've talked about this multiple times. You have to look at some of the older shows. But basically, it's like masculinity's gone to China. They don't have problems that we have.
I think we're at least 30 to 40 years out, at least at the very minimal, 30 or 40 years out from even seeing it start to make a return into the mainstream.
Yeah,
it's just kind of how it works, you know. Like you think about like the World War II generation, you know. Then you have the hippies and all the other bullshit that's like come and gone since then, and now we're in like these soft ass soy. Everybody gets a trophy, men. I think that for the pendulum to swing back, I think we're a good 40 years away from that even starting to appear on the scene again. So
I think we're going to go to the extreme opposite first. I think we're going to, there's still more lows. Yeah. There's more lows.
It just does this. Just all the time. That's history, man. Is it just, you know, that thing doesn't stop swinging and just settle in the middle. It just, gravity takes it.
Any advice for starting a business, especially marketing advice? I'll let Bobby start off with this one.
Especially marketing advice. I would say that you have to, depending on what your business is, right? So if it's an actual company to where you're like selling stuff versus if it's you and you're like, hey, I'm the guy, you know, whatever it is, you got to think of yourself as a brand, and you have to not be afraid to sell and to put yourself out there. I think that's a problem that most people have when they get going on something like this, is they don't like to sell themselves, or they'll sell themselves so much, and then they'll be like, I don't want to overkill, or you know, I don't want to do that, to where that's how you make money is with sales like that. There's no way around it. So I would say get comfortable with selling yourself, and you know, do the marketing research on the stuff that's pertinent. Know your audience that you're selling to, so that way you have an idea of what and how and where the product is that you're selling works.
I just started with the whole marketing stuff. I get guys to do it for me that are experts in that field. So I can't tell you. I got experts doing it for me. Hire somebody that knows what they're doing. There you go.
If you need copywriting, go ahead and bobbydino.com /
There you go. You even got a source.
Yeah, there you go.
Abuamerican, another one for me. You mentioned red pill rot. Could you guys elaborate on that more? I feel it's a real pitfall to look out for when consuming all the red pill content dishes by those gurus. Yeah, red pill rot is something that I coined. Nobody, you know, I was the one who came up with the term. Basically, it's like red pill as an ideology. It is, in a sense, it is correct. You can't, you know, I mean, because it's based upon observations of human behavior, in specific female behavior. And then human behaviors, like all sciences, you know, all the social sciences, there are patterns that can be, you know, inferred and predicted by certain stimulus and certain inputs. Now, here's the thing. So when you start going into like the red pill zone now, because guys, they mostly went in it to learn game. What they did is they learned game, and they started learning how to, like, you know, game women. And that's exactly what they did. So then you get guys out here, they get like 300-400, like, you know, women they sleep with. And after a while, their mentality starts to shift to one of all women are whores, all women are sluts, because that's what they have experienced personally. And so they start teaching that, and that becomes their worldview, because that's the world they're in. And so that, you know, the idea, like I've met and I've seen, like, you know, women who are in their 40s that are virgins, to him in his mind, this is something that doesn't exist. And so what happens is multiple things. First, he starts having a nihilistic perspective of the world, which I don't care what anybody says, that affects your worldview and your behavior in general. And it makes you more like, for lack of a better term, degenerate. And then two, there's no way you can consume all of this red pill stuff and not have a slip in your morals and your ethics because of what it teaches you and how it teaches you to get results. You know, so eventually, you know, your ethics begin to slip and your morals begin to slip. And this was what I talk about, red pill rot. You know, that you find a lot of guys that had like a higher ethical and moral standard before they came into this sphere, and then they just dropped it all of a sudden because, hey, I'm starting to get what I want. I'm starting to get a lot of hoo-ha, and nothing else starts to matter to them because, hey, immediate quick results, you know, and it feels good. But we know about all shortcuts. They never lead anywhere good. You become nihilistic. All women are whores. The next thing you know, you're the next guru online talking about how bad women are. I talk about the pitfalls that you can fall into with women, but in general, I have a very good opinion of women. I like women. That's why I have multiple women, you know? So, I mean, but that doesn't mean it's not dangerous, you know? Just like there are, and this is the thing, and you have to differentiate between your gurus. There are guys that will teach you about the pitfalls of dealing with women, and there's guys who will just complain about women. And you got to be able to identify the two and be able to identify the differences. Why is this important? Because we have all sorts of identifications out there for the dangerous men that women have to deal with, you know, but nobody talks about the dangers that there are involved with dealing with women. When dealing with men, it's clear, it's physical. There's a physical threat. We are, you know, physically more imposing and stronger than women, but women have their own tools that they use in order to get at men. And nobody really talks about that. And, you know, that's more my thing, like that's in my vetting guide and whatnot that I speak about, you know, that you have to look out for these particular types of women because they can ruin you, man. They can mess up your life, you know, and just like a guy can mess up a woman physically, a woman can mess you up financially and socially. And you need to be prepared for that yourself. That's my answer there.
Cool.
Where do you guys see yourself in 5 to 10 years? Retired in a Muslim country. That's me.
Yeah.
Doing a bunch of traveling around Europe and having already released some type of writing work in the Hollywood entertainment industry sphere. Like that's the goal.
Financially secure, financially free, property owner, more children, more wives, better health, happy.
I'll grant you all of that. I mean,
dressing well, eating well.
Both of you.
And my children in a good space. You know, my children in a good space. You know, that's important because it's also about passing down a legacy. You know, so I want my legacy to be well on its way to being defined, so that whoever comes behind me can benefit from whatever foundations are laid down. So, yeah.
I mean, this is a random question. What BJJ belt level is Bobby? I don't have a black belt. I have a brown belt with 3 stripes. Do you do BJJ,
dang.
Bobby?
Dang, good for you. Brown with 3 stars. That's good. I'm a blue belt in Machado Jiu-Jitsu.
Nice. I'm a Machado also, man. I do Machados also. I'm a Machado.
Okay, cool. So Ken in our group, Ken's a black belt Machado Jiu-Jitsu.
Nice. I didn't know you was into Machados, man.
Yeah, no. Ken's really, I mean, even more so than the instructor that ran the place. That was like, you know, the owner. Ken was really where I learned most of my stuff from. That was actually how we became friends back in the day. Was him choking me the fuck out. Choking me out. So you know, I mean, yeah, Ken's all about that Machado too. And for those of you that don't know Ken is a friend of mine who's also in my group, and he's on Twitter, works in the entertainment industry, and does jiu-jitsu.
Man, we got a ton of questions pouring in, dude. Are we on the verge of World War III? Man, with who? I don't know. Anybody know if we're on the verge of World War III socially?
I mean, I don't see those same old World War things happening like how they did in the old days. I just don't. There's too much there. I know people say war is an industry, and it is. There's certain things that happen through war, but it's kind of like when you're in the joint, okay? And like riots, you don't want to have a riot because a riot upsets the peace and all the little good things that you got going, all the little alliances, all the little contraband, all the little whatever you got, right? If you kick off a riot, they're going to come through, they're going to sweep, you're going to lose all that stuff. People may get transferred, people may get whatever. Your drugs might get found, if you're a dealer, like all this stuff, right? So it's like, even though, yes, there is an industry, overall, it upsets the balance. And I don't think that, I mean, if you're talking World War III in the sense like we have World War I and World War II, where there was like a whole axis of evil and like the Allies and all that, I don't think we're doing that again. I don't. I think we'll go nuclear before that happens.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you guys try to eat organic? I just don't eat junk food. I eat a bunch of steak. No, I don't look at whether it's organic or not. Oh, sorry. I just clicked that down. You guys?
I mean,
I don't think about it.
Oh, go ahead.
I think I try to balance what I eat. So if I eat a load of junk today, then tomorrow I might have more greens on my plate, or I might, and I do. I'm not big on looking at ingredients, but I would avoid E numbers. If I see a whole load of E numbers or something, then I will kind of look for alternative out there. But I don't specifically target organic to buy, but maybe there is a part of my brain that will lean towards healthier eating when I shop.
I agree with that.
How do you identify hypocrites, male and female? I use the same process, lack of congruence. You tend to find that people, they will display one personality, but then when you're actually dealing with them, their reality is something else. Perfect example, I was talking to this girl. She was acting all super religious. She's from the community that will go unnamed, but displaying the same attributes and personality traits. And whenever there was a disagreement, she'd automatically start turning to name calling and like insults. But any other time she was acting like, I'm religious, I'm so holy. And then, the moment, you was like, yeah, well, chicken don't taste good when it's with, pickles and ketchup. And she'd be like, you're blah, 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 and start, using foul, references or trying to find a way to insult you and make you mad. Lack of congruence. That's my way.
Words and actions, if they don't add up,
congruence. Yeah,
it doesn't take long to decide to see if people live by how they claim to. If you've got a discerning eye, and I think when you get to a certain age and level in life, they're not that hard to fish out. You know what I mean? And a lot of the time, you look at who they associate with as well. You do tend to find people that are alike associate with each other. So even if someone comes out of a community or a group of people claiming to be other, you'll find that a lot of the time you might meet a woman and she talks down on promiscuous women, but you look around and you're like, but your friend is a hoe, she's a hoe, she's a hoe, she's a hoe. Yeah. Maybe you did go through a whole phase. You may not be a hoe now, but don't act like you didn't go through that phase along with your friends, So look at what's around them as well to figure it out.
Just for the record, guys, Nahid has been blocked. He's been banned for asking stupid questions again.
What did he ask?
You moron. I told you it was from the people who shall not be named.
Okay.
Okay.
Sent a spy.
Yeah. Goofballs. When the time comes, oh, he's pretty sure of this one. If you don't take mandatory C19 vaccine into the joint, oh, I see. Yeah, see that was pretty slick. Into the joint you go. Would you guys respond to this situation? I mean, I'm not going to the joint, and I'm not taking any sort of vaccine. I'm perfectly healthy, so they're gonna have to come for me, man. They're gonna take me down. That's why I got weapons in the house, man. That's why I have projectile weapons in the house, multiple types.
And guide in the sewers.
No,
demolition.
I'm thinking of it like just from a United States citizen's perspective, to where your body is kind of looked at as a temple, right? And it's very, very, very difficult to make someone mandatorily put something into their temple. Okay, it's there's a lot of legal loopholes to make sure that something like that doesn't happen. Now you can name something like, oh, well, children have to get vaccinated or whatever. Yeah, well, that's minors that they want to get vaccinated or whatever. But when it comes to adults and making them take stuff and do stuff and whatever, that's a tough one. So I mean, that's look, I'll be straight up with you. I don't want to go back to prison for nothing. I don't. So I mean, if that were the real question right there, was like, all right, if you don't take this COVID-19 vaccine, you're going back in the joint. First, I'd want to know for how long. I'd be like, well, okay, hold up for a second.
Will I be released?
Am I getting a strike? Am I getting? Yeah. Is this am I getting released? And then
how can you imprison someone for not taking a vaccine anyway? You can't do it anyway.
But there's a but it might not be prison physically, because I'm reading about loss of for example, you might not be able to use the banks. You might not be able to do transactions. You might not be able to travel. So it might not be a physical imprisonment, but you might actually be.
That's
that's what's scary to me. The fact that even now some countries have got mandatory testing in order to go there.
Yeah. But this goes back to what I was telling the other young guy. Make your own job. I do all my banking online. My banking is all online. My money goes from my PayPal to my bank. My bank is actually in a bank. I don't have it here. It's a bank card. So my money is made online. It goes to a card that I can spend offline. Make a business, man, and then free yourself.
Yeah.
What are the greatest moments of triumph or happiness you guys have experienced in life?
Oh,
it's a good question.
Moments of triumph.
Happiness, definitely my kids. When they were born, it's always an amazing thing.
Agreed.
Little mini me, popping out, and you like, yo, what up, homie? Yeah. That's always a very happy moment. Triumph, man. Jeez. I don't get overly excited, by victories or defeats. It's all basically it's part of the process of life for me. So now it's just okay, dang, that's a win. How do I keep winning? Oh, that's a loss. How do I win next time? So I don't really get overly excited on those things. So I can't really tell you, man. Sometimes I got big wins, and to me, it's just okay, how do we keep this going? It's not even I don't get this super level of excitement. Maybe I'm an old man. That's why it's called OG, right? OG Logic.
I can relate. I can remember times I was happy in little moments but they weren't always nice in terms of there were bad things. A lot of these happy moments of joy were doing bad things. So I don't think I could mention some of those things, but yeah, I think I don't know. I don't think I probably had more lows than highs, but I'm happy with the with where I'm at. I don't do euphoria. I don't do euphoria. I don't think I've ever experienced it, apart from actually one occasion when I won a powerlifting competition in prison. Because it was so unexpected, that was the first thing I ever won in my life. So I was buzzing for like 3 days. I couldn't believe it. I won a competition. That was 2000 2004. That was probably the highest in terms of euphoria ever. That's it.
God, I was in there in 2004, man. Like it's weird when you say those years, you know, because it was 2000 to 2010. So when you say 2004, I automatically like start thinking about like what was going on right around that time, you know. No, I would say definitely the kids, you know, as far as happiness. I think triumph wasn't just like getting out, because I mean I was going to get out of prison anyway, you know, like I had a release date, you know what I mean? So it wasn't so much that, but it was like getting out and like doing better than most anyone that I knew, you know, or like most anyone that like I even had any type of relationship with, like just getting out and smashing it, you know what I mean? Like doing all that shit that where they're like, oh, you know, thinking I was just gonna like either turn around and go back in, or I was just gonna be some broke dick dude in a studio apartment somewhere, you know, like just saying, nah, that's not what I'm about. So that's definitely moments of triumph right there.
It's one of them people you about to get banned. Would you say it's easier for multiple wives to live in the same house or different house? I have a course. It's on my Gumroad. Go check it out. You can get your answer there. You got to buy it. Kanye, you about to go the same route as Nahid. So, Kanye, I've talked about this multiple times. Refer back to my cooking example. If you can't find it, then have fun watching all my videos. I've talked about this multiple times. It's very clear. I've even said it on this show where I bring it in the example and the comparison of cooking. So good luck finding it, homie. If you got another question that's stupid, make sure you delete it before I see it, or I'm blocking you too.
No, I ain't laughing with you, man. Or at you. I'm laughing with you.
It's a book, Amir. It's on my Gumroad also.
Excellent.
Okay, Jobs. How can you reach stability and make a good Muslim family for someone who has health issues and struggles with his environment? You know, this is a specialist question I can't really answer. I wish I could help you out. I don't have any special need family members, you know, of any sort, be it children or partners. So it's very difficult for me to answer that question. Unfortunately, I wish I could help you. It's a good question. Maybe someone out there can. Anybody? I mean, can you guys?
I mean, I can't comment from the Muslim aspect, but I mean, you know, health issues and struggling, like it's all a part of just issues that everybody has. Like everybody's got some issues, right? Some people's issues are a little bit more gnarly than others, right? But there's nobody that's just running a clean, scot-free life and like just having things fall in their lap. You know, like people have got stuff that they're working through, and it's relative. So I guess I would say that just expect that nothing's going to be easy. Expect that there's got to always be a little bit of work somewhere, and then just handle the work.
Handle your business.
Yeah.
This is a question for you, Bobby, directly from Alex. Bobby, you're a copywriter. How do you go about getting freelancing clients aside from word of mouth?
You solicit them. You can put ads out, right? But you can also do cold calling. You can do it if you have an email list. You can talk about your services in your email list, and then also going along with the cold calling, depending on what your medium is. Yeah, I use Twitter a lot. You may see somebody that, like, let's say is a follower of yours or someone that you follow, you know, and they're talking about, oh, I've got this new thing coming up and this and that and blah, 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 and I'm going to be releasing this product, right? Reach out to them. Magic happens in those DMs, man. A lot more crazy, cool stuff happens in DMs than happens on the timeline. So, you know, send them a DM. Just be like, hey, I saw that you do this or that. Maybe we can make something happen and get things kicking off for the both of us with this. The thing that's not going to happen is if you don't say anything or don't do anything and you just expect people to just know who and what you're about. So, I mean, definitely reach out, whether it's in emails or in the DMs.
Anonymous Assassin, he's like, you trying to get blocked? He's talking to Kane. Anonymous Assassin, when I figure it out, I'm gonna make you an admin, man. I'm gonna figure out how to do it. I know you can do it. I just don't know how. What do we have here? All right, this is a reasonable and half decent question. Thanks for the amazing answer. What's the top characteristics you look for in a male friend? Trustworthiness and reliability. Those two things I look for the most.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that's pretty much right on point. I mean, people, you could say loyalty, you could, but I mean, honesty covers a lot of bases. When you're talking about somebody that's honest and trustworthy, like that covers a lot of ground right there. So I think that's pretty much a perfect answer.
Yeah.
And I see Alex commented, no problem, Alex. I see that down there at the bottom of the thing. So I just looked. Said thanks for the answer. Anyways.
I think for me, it depends on the friends, on the type of friend as well, depending on what you need them for. Not that you need friends for different things, but different friends for different environments. So I've got different social groups, and some of the friends can't fit in every group. You know what I mean? So for me, the main thing is if I could trust you. That no matter where you are in life, your race, your religion, your creed, if I could trust you, that's one thing. But also, you can't just be friends with everybody in it. So sometimes you have to make friendships work for you. So is it your wisdom? Is it your links? Is it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What determines a close friend could vary. Just depends on what you need in life or where you're going in life. Some people rely on emotional support. Emotional support could be something that a lot of people. I get leaned on a lot for emotional support. But I don't have anyone really that I lean on for emotional support. So for me,
I don't know anything about this. Anybody know about this? Can you guys comment on the Dawood Kim situation? I think it's a proof that just because you became Muslim doesn't make you red pill. I don't even. Who's Dawood Kim? You want to give me a breakdown of Taj, man? Thanks for showing up. But I don't have a clue about the situation, man. You got to shoot me a link on Twitter or something. I don't have a clue. Anybody know about this guy? Who is that?
I don't.
Never heard of him.
I don't know, bro. What's your favorite vacation spot? In Europe, Switzerland.
I've heard about that. I've heard beautiful. Switzerland is pretty bomb.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. I have heard that.
That's mine. I don't know about you guys.
Shoot. I mean, in the States, there's this place called Morro Bay. That's like it's kind of like central California beach area, and it's a very, very small beach town, real sleepy, like not busy at all. There's a big rock there called Morro Rock, and we used to go down there a couple times a year just for some just rest and relaxation. No big waves, no nothing. It's just like real calm ocean right there. So that was always a spot that I really liked. I know it sounds probably kind of a boring answer, but that's it.
Just for the record, Punt Man from the Punt land, region of the country of the ethnicity that will go unnamed has been banned.
Oh, geez.
I told you I'm just start banning you guys just at a GP, man. Y'all in here like acting goofy. One more question. I guess this is for Bobby. How to approach a potential client with confidence?
Oh, well, this could be any one of us. Confidence comes from experience. So, like, this is an example that I use often, okay? Is think about tying your shoes, right? When you were a little kid and someone had to show you how to tie your shoes, you weren't really sure how to do it. You probably tied knots. Took you a while to learn it. But now that you've been tying shoes all your life, you could probably do it blindfolded. And if somebody was like, question your shoe tying abilities, you'd be like, homie, I could tie shoes with the best of them. Like, I'm one of the best shoe tires on the planet, right? That's that type of confidence that comes when you have the real experience. So if you want to approach people with confidence in what your craft is, or with whatever it is you're trying to promote, you want to make sure that you have some similar type of experience to where there is no question of your ability. You don't question yours. You're the bomb. You can do it with the best of them. And that comes shining through when you're talking to people. It's different than arrogance or cockiness. It's a straight up confidence. It'd be like somebody asking you if you could write your name. You're like, yeah, I can write my name with the best of them. I can write my name better than anyone else. And it's you're not trying to be a jerk about it. You're just telling them what you perceive the truth to be.
Well, I got some actually hidden questions and comments here, but
hidden.
Yeah.
They can do that. They can hide stuff.
There it goes. Anonymous assassin is now an admin. Anonymous, man, and just for anybody who knows, just in case anybody's worried about, if I'm not mistaken, who anonymous assassin is, he's from the people who shall go unnamed. So don't be out here talking about Abuamerican's a racist or something. He's a longtime homie. If this is the right, I think it's him. So anywho, what's this? Which sort of Quran is your favorite?
You got an ally. You got an ally over there, and now you wait.
Yeah.
Now it's like you can't be called into question on your abilities. You're like, hey, if Anonymous signs off on it, then it's all good. Yeah.
What's your favorite surah in the Quran, and why? This is kind of like the question on my greatest joys and whatever else, man. It's Kalamullah. You love it all, man. That's a tough one, actually. Probably Ayatul Kursi, just because of how it's recited and what it's recited for, and how it covers aspects of the names, the Asma wa Sifat of Allah, and his capabilities and his capacities. Probably Ayatul Kursi. Possibly.
I think for me, Fatiha, because I think it's just a clear dua. It's a very clear dua of what we need, So for me, yeah.
I've asked Bobby his favorite Bible. Oh, okay, yes. Sorry, I'm just reading that right now.
Yeah, that's about it, guys. We've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. I don't see any more questions rolling in.
That's good.
Yeah, wasn't bad. Quite a few questions. Thank you, guys. For the guys who asked reasonable and good questions. Condolences to the people who got banned. First time I've actually done this. Yeah, make sure you check out. I'm gonna close out with my stuff. Go get your tie my shoe shirts over at my Gumroad. I got them tie my shoe shirts. It's a tie my shoe thing. You can get that material and equipment over there. And my vetting guide is still out there. If you're looking to get married, you're looking for the right woman, you don't want to get the wrong woman, make sure you grab it. A few other products up on there. my book about violence, The Mad Monkey. You know, jump on it. Guys, you got anything?
Not this week.
Just you know, we got the book Thinking Tough out there, and then like was brought up a couple times in the group, I'm starting to advertise publicly some of the copywriting skills that I was using privately for people. Didn't think that I wanted to take on too many clients, so I never really put it out there. But I have put it out there now. You can do bobbydino.com/TTC. That's for top tier copy. And you can get some more information there. If you've got a business or any type of stuff to where you might need some product copy, some emails or direct response copy, whatever you need, just go ahead and check that out and we can go from there.
Boom, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll get Monday back on. It was an accident yesterday. Everybody's busy. We got real life going on out here. So you know, hopefully everything will be back on track and regular schedule next week on Monday at 1800. See, I'm messed up all the time. What time is it? Is it 1700 my time or 1800?
I think it's 1800 yours.
17 your time, 15 mine.
Yeah, because it's 19 mine.
So 18 my time. I'm in the middle.
Yeah, right.
Okay, 1800 my time. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Too Big. Too Big is also one of the people. He's one of my peoples, but he's one of the peoples that is from the people. So he's my people. We're out.